The 30-year mortgage climbs as rates rise for the first time in more than a month to 6.39%. Then something we have never seen in history, the U.S. housing market has split right down the middle of the country as prices sink in the West Coast, while on the East Coast, we're seeing prices surging. And all of this is going on when we are seeing the U.S. jobless claims rise, but still remain at historical low levels. And then we're seeing retail having issues, and the ex-CEO of Home Depot coming out, sounding the alarm on the U.S. economy as he says, quote, "We're going to see a lot of bankruptcies in the retail industry." So the news just gets crazier every day, but let's unpack it as always and find out how you can benefit from all the changes, or at least navigate through it if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or buy investment real estate here in Florida. So don't go anywhere. Hi, my friends. Lee Brickey here, your best source for real estate in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest. So if you're interested in any of that, you're going to want to subscribe. And for subscribing, here's a picture of Henry. So let's jump into all this news and start by covering mortgage rates and why they're on the rise again, because this makes no sense. Usually, if we are getting bad economic news, which we are on a daily basis, bad news for the economy means good news for mortgage rates. But that is not what is happening. And I believe the reason is because the mixed signals coming from the Fed. The Federal Reserve Board Governor's member, Christopher Waller, said last Friday that there has been little progress on inflation for more than a year, and that more interest rate hikes are needed to get prices under control. But at the same time, the Atlanta Fed President Bostic said that the Fed can hit the 2% mark with one more rate hike, while the Chicago Fed president warns that a mild recession is possible if the Fed stays too aggressive. So with all of this Fed confusion, markets will remain volatile until they get a clear picture of where the Fed is heading with rate hikes. So hopefully next month when the Fed meets, we will see some calm over investors. And I believe it will happen no matter if the Fed says it's going to raise rates another 0.25% and then tap the brakes, or if they're just going to go ahead and stop rate hikes. Another rate hike is already baked into the numbers, so that wouldn't cause the markets to freak out. But Jay Powell has to come out with a definitive answer, or we will continue to see all this volatility. But I believe he knows that, and I also believe that he knows that most of this inflation is the Fed's fault with bad policy decisions that have locked up the housing market and made it hard for Americans not only to buy a home, but to pay their bills and buy food. So let's see what happens. But wow, what a mess our economy is in. And I would love to hear your comments of why you think the economy is in such a bad mess. And leave them in the comment section because I love hearing from you. But let's go on. Next on the list, this article saying that the U.S. housing market is crashing on the West Coast, while on the East Coast, prices are soaring. Home prices on the West Coast have plunged as much as 10%, while the East Coast have surged. And as I've said in previous videos, home prices in Florida are continuing to go up this year, especially in markets like Central Florida, South Florida, the West Coast of Florida around Tampa. These markets are continuing to see upward pressure. So why? Well, let's look at the most recent article on California. $1 Million Listing Star warns California mansion tax will deliver the hardest hit to markets since 2007. So what is this? Beginning on April 1st, Los Angeles residents will be subject to a 4 to 5.5% mansion tax that applies to all properties sold over $5 million, as opposed to the 0.45% transfer tax already in place. This tax is expected to completely destroy high-end property market throughout the entire state, potentially resulting in even more people leaving. And where are they heading? Florida and Texas. And this isn't restricted just to Los Angeles. San Francisco has a tax rate of 6% over 25 million, and San Jose imposed a 1.5% tax on transfers over 10 million. And Culver County now has a tax of 4% above that amount. The problem is that like in every case of luxury tax, the wealthy are being saddled with it and therefore have the highest incentive to move. And California's top 1% are already currently paying more than half of the state's income tax. Lately, a lot of these people are leaving. In San Francisco, for instance, 39,000 people have left, taking 10.6 billion of income with them. But in reality, this is mainly going to affect construction of multifamily and commercial buildings. A 5% tax equals to more than half of builders' profit margins. This now takes away incentives for investors to add housing supply and businesses. And this gives a very good reason for people to leave the state and turns into a chain reaction. And speaking of the state of Florida, no, we are not going to see a housing crash in the state of Florida. As a matter of fact, we are seeing a return of bidding wars and lot lotteries with new home builders. And you may ask yourself how? Well, this article from the New York Times says the exodus continues as more than 10,000 New Yorkers have moved to Florida already in 2023. And that is New Yorkers changing their driver's license from New York to Florida. So that's putting upward pressure on the real estate market again because of low inventory, as this article talks about. And with 85% of homeowners sitting on mortgage rates below 3.5%, inventory is drying up, and so are the builder spec homes and incentives. But I do believe we will see mortgage rates come down, and that will cause more inventory on the market if they come down low enough. So that would make it easier for buyers to find a home that fits their budget and slow prices down. And with that said, I do want rates to come down, but I believe that the Fed allowing rates to stay at 2% and 3% for so long hurt the market and caused this mess we are in. And I believe that if we could just get rates back to the mid fours, we could see a normal market. And that is my hope, a normal market, because this has not been fun for anyone, the agents, the buyers, or the sellers. It's just been a complete disaster for the last 3 years in the housing market, and it is hopefully going to change soon if we can see rates starting to come down again, which that is a hope we will see next month. This article just came out saying that new homes now are 1/3 of the housing inventory, and this is driving markets in Florida that have a lot of new homes being built, like markets like Port St. Lucie and Orlando. And again, my opinion of that is because of incentives and rate buy downs that these builders are offering. So new construction right now is a good buy if it fits your budget, but please don't go out there on your own and try to navigate this market on your own. We have found so many buyers frustrated because they don't know where to go for the best incentives and mortgages. Find a real estate agent that you can trust and knows the market you are in. Also, one that will show up for you on your walkthroughs and your closings if you are buying new construction. Just interview them like you would if they were listing your house, because prices, incentives are all over the place, and there are all different kinds of mortgages out there that can help you get into a home right now, including no down payment mortgages for first responders and teachers, 3% down for conventional loans. And with these new builders, some of them have 4.99% mortgages and incentives that can go towards your closing costs or your upgrades. So there's a lot out there to help you buy a home right now, especially when you're looking at new construction. Well, that's all I have for you today, but leave me a comment and let me know what your thoughts are of where we are in the economy and where it is headed, and if you believe we're going to end up in a recession. Also, leave me any questions or concerns you may have about the real estate market here in Florida. I enjoy reading all your comments. I answer all of them, even if you don't like the answer. And don't forget that I'm a full-time real estate agent right here in Palm Beach County. So if you're looking to buy or sell, my information is right there on the screen. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and slap that subscribe button right there and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our real estate tips and tours. And you can watch our next video right there and get more information on exactly where the Florida home prices are increasing the most. Be kind to each other, and I'll see you in the next video.